Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll continue our reading from the Nectar of Instruction, an authorized English presentation of Srila Rupa Goswami's Sri Upadeshamrita. We are on verse number 10 at the moment. Mukam karati vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamam vande Shri Gurum Deen Tayanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Hariyam Tatsa. कर्मी भय परितो हरेह प्रियतया व्यक्तिम ययुर ज्ञानिनस्तेभ्यो ज्ञान विमुक्त भक्ति परमाः प्रेमैका निष्ठास ततः तेभ्यस्य ताः पशुपाल पंकज ऋषस्ताभ्यो अपि सा राधिका प्रेष्ठ तद्वद इयं तदिया सरसी ताम नाश्रयेत कह कृति. Karmibhyah, than all fruitive workers, paritah in all respects, hareh by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, priyataya because of being favored, vyaktim yayuh, it is said in the Shastra, jnaninah, those advanced in knowledge, tebhyah, superior to them, Jnana Vimukta, liberated by knowledge, Bhakti, Paramaha, those engaged in devotional service, Prema Ekanistha, those who have attained pure love of God, Tataha, superior to them, Tebhyaha, better than them, Taha, they, Pashupala Pankaja Drishaha, the gopis who are always dependent on Krishna, the cowherd boy, Tabhya, above all of them, Api, certainly, Sa, she, Radhika, Srimati Radhika, Preshtha, very dear, Tadvat, similarly, Iyam, this, Tadiya, Sarasi, her lake, Shri Radhakund, Tam, Radhakund, Na, not Ashrayet, would take shelter of, Kaha, who, Kriti, most fortunate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, the Gyanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna. The transcendental cowherd boy among the gopis, Srimati Radharani, is the most dear to Krishna. Her kunda, or the lake, is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radhakund and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrita bhava, render the loving service to the divine couple Sri Sri Radha Govinda, who perform their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of the Radhakund are the most fortunate people in the universe. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At present moment, almost everyone is engaged in some kind of fruitive activity. Those who are desirous of gaining material points by working are called karmis, or the fruitive workers. All living entities within this material world have come under the spell of Maya. This is described in the Vishnu Puran 6.7.61. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetra Janakhya Tatha Para Avidya Karma Samajanya Tritiya Shaktir Ishyate. Sages have divided the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into three categories, namely the spiritual energy, marginal energy, and the material energy. The material energy is considered to be third class energy, Tritiya Shakti. Those living beings within the jurisdiction of the material energy sometimes engage themselves like dogs and hogs in working hard simply for sense gratification. However, in this life, or after executing pious activities in the other next life, some karmis become strongly attracted to performing various kinds of sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. Thus, on the strength of their pious merit, they are elevated to heavenly planets. Actually, those who perform sacrifices strictly according to Vedic injunctions are elevated to the moon and planets above the moon. as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 9.21. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. After exhausting the results of their so-called pious activities, they again return to the earth, which is called martya loka, the place of death. Although such persons may be elevated to the heavenly planets by their pious activities, and although they may enjoy life there for many thousands of years, they nonetheless must return to this planet when the results of their pious activities are exhausted. This is the position of all karmis, including those who act piously and those who act impiously. On this planet, we find many businessmen, politicians, and others who are simply interested in material happiness. They attempt to earn money by all means, not considering whether such means are pious or impious. Such people are called karmis or gross materialists. Among the karmis are some vikarmis, people who act without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. Those who act on the basis of Vedic knowledge perform sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu and to receive benedictions from him. In this way, they are elevated to higher planetary systems. Such karmis are superior to the vikarmis, for they are faithful to the directions of the Vedas and are certainly dear to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. In whatever way one surrenders unto me, I reward him accordingly. Krishna is so kind that he fulfilled the desires of the karmis and the jnanis, not to speak of the bhaktas. Although the karmis are sometimes elevated to higher planetary systems, as long as they remain attached to fruitive activities, they must accept new material bodies after death. If one acts piously, he can attain a new body among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, or he may attain some other position in which he can enjoy a higher standard of material happiness. On the other hand, those who are engaged in impious activities are degraded and take birth as animals, trees, and plants. Thus, those fruitive actors who do not care for the Vedic directions, the Vikarmis, are not appreciated by learned, saintly persons. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4, Nunam Pramattaha Kurute Vikarma Yad Indriya Pritaya Apranoti Na Sadhu Manne Yata Atmano Ayam Asanna Api Kleshada Asa Deha. Materialists who work hard like dogs and hogs simply for sense gratification are actually mad. They simply perform all kinds of abominable activities simply for sense gratification. Materialistic activities are not at all worthy of an intelligent man. For as a result of such activities, one gets a material body which is full of misery. The purpose of human life is to get out of the threefold miserable conditions which are concomitant with material existence. Unfortunately, fruitive workers are mad to earn money and acquire temporary material comforts by all means. Therefore, they risk being degraded to lower species of life. Materialists foolishly make many plans to become happy in this material life or material world. They do not stop to consider that they will live only for a certain number of years, out of which they must spend the major portion acquiring money for sense gratification. Ultimately, such activities end in death. Materialists do not consider that after giving up the body, they may become embodied as lower animals, plants, or trees. Thus, all their activities simply defeat the purpose of life. Not only are they born ignorant, but they act on the platform of ignorance, thinking that they are getting material benefits in the shape of skyscraper buildings, big cars, honorable positions, and so on. The materialists do not know that in the next life they will be degraded and that all their activities simply serve as parabhav, their defeat. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.5, Parabhavas Tavad Abodha Jataha. One should therefore be eager to understand The science of the soul, the Atma Tattva. Unless one comes to the platform of Atma Tattva, by which one understands the soul and not the body is oneself, one remains on the platform of ignorance. Out of thousands and even millions of ignorant people who are wasting their time simply gratifying their senses, one may come to the platform of knowledge and understand higher values of life. Such a person is called Jnani. The Jnani knows that the fruitive activities will bind him to the material existence and cause him to transmigrate from one kind of body to another, as indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by the term Sharira Bandha, bound to bodily existence. As long as one maintains any conception of sense enjoyment, his mind will be absorbed in karma, fruitive activity, and this will oblige him to transmigrate from one body to another. The Sagyani is considered superior to Karmi because he at least refrains from the blind activities of sense enjoyment. This is the verdict of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, although Jnani may be liberated from the ignorance of the Karmis, unless he comes to the platform of the devotional service, he is still considered to be in ignorance or avidya. Although one may be accepted as Jnani for one advanced in knowledge, his knowledge is considered impure because he has no information of devotional service and thus neglects the direct worship of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When a Jnani takes to the devotional service, he rapidly becomes superior to an ordinary Jnani. Such an advanced person is described as Jnana Vimukta Bhakta Parama. How a Jnani takes to devotional service is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, wherein Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudevah Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders to me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Actually, a person is wise when he surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, but such a Mahatma, great soul, is very rare. Sudurlabha. After taking to devotional service under the regulative principles, a person may come to the platform of spontaneous love of God or the Raganuga Bhakti, following in the footsteps of great devotees like Narad and Sanak and Sanatan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then recognizes him to be superior. The devotees who have developed love of Godhead are certainly in an exalted position. Of all these devotees, the gopis are considered or recognized as superior because they do not know anything other than satisfying Krishna, nor do the gopis expect any return from Krishna. Indeed, sometimes Krishna puts them into extreme suffering by separating himself from them. Nonetheless, they cannot forget Krishna. When Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura, the gopis became most dejected and spent the rest of their lives simply crying in separation from Krishna. This means that in one sense, they were never actually separated from Krishna. There is no difference between thinking of Krishna and associating with him. Rather, Vipralamba Seva, thinking of Krishna in separation, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, is far better than serving Krishna directly. Thus, of all the devotees who have developed unalloyed devotional love for Krishna, the gopis are most exalted, and out of all these exalted gopis, Srimati Radharani is the highest. No one can excel the devotional service of Srimati Radharani. Indeed, even Krishna cannot understand the attitude of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he took her position and appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to understand her transcendental feelings. In this way, Srila Rupa Goswami gradually concludes that Srimati Radharani is the most exalted devotee of Krishna and that her kunda or the lake Sri Radhakund is the most exalted place. This is verified in a quotation from Laghu Bhagavatamrita Uttarakhand verse 45 as quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos तस्याः कुण्डं प्रियं तथा सर्वगोपीषु सैवैका विष्णोर अत्यंत वल्लभा. Just as Srimati Radharani is dear to Supreme Lord Krishna Vishnu, so her bathing place Radhakund is equally dear to Krishna. Among all the gopis, she alone stands supreme as the Lord's most beloved. Therefore, everyone interested in Krishna consciousness should ultimately take shelter of Radha Kund and execute devotional service there throughout one's life. This is the conclusion of Rupa Goswami in the 10th verse of Updeshamrit. So, thus, this is the end of verse 10 of Updeshamrita, or the Nectar of Instruction. We will conclude our reading from Updeshamrit with verse 11 next time. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Shri Rupa Goswami ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.